Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, building experiences that connect, remove friction, and deliver insights. Well, hi everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and I am at AICPA Engage 2023, and my guest today is Nicole Davis. She is the founder and CEO of Butler Davis. Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
Thank you, Ed. I'm happy to be here.
So, first of all, Nicole, why do you do what you do?
So it's a very simple story, Ed. I do what I do because I want to help small businesses get better. So my dad was an entrepreneur. He owned an auto repair shop in Georgia. And at the time, I worked for a corporate 500 company. So I just sat back in my chair one day and said, hey, I can help these corporate giants get bigger, or I can help people like my dad, which are small businesses, get better. So for me, it was like, okay, I want to definitely help those small businesses get better, and that's how I got my start and started my own firm.
Well, and you are a small firm, and you said before we started recording that you've been thinking a lot lately about restructuring your firm. Yes. So talk to me a little bit about what your thoughts are.
So I've had my firm for about 10 years now, and I guess I think many firm owners can relate in that you get to a point to where you're like, okay, I don't want to do the client delivery. I definitely want to nurture relationships there, but I don't want to do the actual work. So for me, it was like, okay, how do I make myself the least important person in my firm? So that requires definitely building a team and then passing the knowledge that I have or transferring that knowledge to those team members because they are closest to the client data and also the client relationship. So for me, it's about, okay, how do I get from point A to point B? Because I want to be the chief hello officer and not the chief executive officer, right? So how do I do that? So, of course, first I got to build the team. So right now we have a team of 12, including me, and we have one offshore person that's full-time. And so it's all about training them and then getting them up to speed on being like the face of the company, the primary point of contact, so that clients rely more on them and not me. And it's a process. It's definitely making sure you have the right people in the right seats, making sure that everything is executed upon, especially with what clients' needs and client wants. And we want to make sure first and foremost that we are delivering upon what the client is paying us for first. And then we want to go above that and add value by making sure like the relationship is a win-win, that they feel like they're not paying us enough for the value we're providing them, right? So it's just a process. So we're implementing a process now to where we're making sure like, okay, what's step one? How do we make sure that the people that are client-facing, that's not me, that they're understanding what the client wants, they understand what the client needs, and then they're delivering upon that in the most efficient and effective way possible. So that's what I mean by we're restructuring the whole company, just to take me out of it, because I'm usually the bottleneck in the company. Like I have so much on my plate that I'm perpetually 3 weeks behind on anything you ask me to do. So they gotta pluck me out of the process to like get better, and that's what we're working on. So.
And the challenge, of course, is that it's dependent on your customers being willing to engage with those folks, right? Yes. So it's a double challenge. It's not even like, okay, yes, I can go through and help your colleagues, coach them on getting better at it. Yeah. But the customer still has to be willing to accept it.
Yeah. So great point. So what we do early on during our new client onboarding is that we introduce them to a team. So we make it very clear up front, and we set expectations. Say, hey, this is your team. You have the team lead. You have the associate that actually does all of the back work. And then, of course, you have me, but I'm not the most important person, right? So we make it very clear up front, like, this is your team, and your primary point of contact is the team lead, not Nicole.
So are you still working with your dad, or is he?
No, my dad passed away in 2016.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So where I was going with this is if your dad gets to the point where he's willing to not talk to you.
Yes. If he was still alive, he would definitely not be talking to me.
That would be the challenge, right?
Yes,
that would be like, because if you could do that, then you can do everybody else.
Exactly. If I could say him to talk to somebody else. Because again, like, I'm his daughter, I'm his I guess the twinkle of his eye. Uh-huh. So of course, if I could get someone like my dad to like be okay with talking to someone else in my firm, then yes, we know we achieved what we were trying to do.
Yeah. So, well, and that's fascinating. So how far along on this journey do you think you are?
So the great thing is that right now, that my team is doing an excellent job of making me the least important person. So right now, they are actually managing the firm. They're managing client expectations. They're managing the work without me. And I think that's because I plucked myself out of the situation and I said, okay, I get autonomy. I say, you have autonomy to make decisions. You have autonomy to do what is best for the client. You have autonomy to here's what I'm expecting, but how you get there is up to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, autonomy is such a key point, I think, and in so many businesses, large and small, don't quite understand that that's what people want. It's not about flexible schedule, which is an oxymoron, by the way, right?
Right. No, there's no flexible schedule, right? Something's always pulling at you.
But if you have autonomy to solve the problem in the moment, it doesn't matter whether it's Tuesday at 2 o'clock or Saturday at 5 o'clock, as long as you can do it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, so for us, I learned that it took me a while to learn this, but I delegate the outcome now. I don't delegate the process.
I love that. Tell me more about delegate the outcome, don't delegate the process. That is brilliant. Okay, tell me more about that.
So it's more like, okay, this is what the end looks like, right? This is what I'm expecting to see when you get from point A to point B or point C. How you get there, I'm leaving up to you, right? And then we can circle back and say, okay, what did it take to get from this point to this point? And then I'm challenging them to say, okay, was that the most effective process? Was that the most efficient process? Because I'm always trying to make sure that we're doing things that make sense. We're working smarter, not harder. So again, it may take if I delegate something that could take 3 hours to do. Okay, that's fine. Okay, how can we turn that? How can we make that 2 hours? How can we make that 1 hour? So again, I'm always making sure that not only are we looking at what it takes to get there, but we're looking at are we doing it the most effective or efficient way. Yeah.
Love that. Well, we have an exit question, Nicole, that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours, and why are they a hero?
All right, so this is you probably would never hear this answer, but my sister is my hero, mainly because she suffered from mental health issues since she was in college, and she's brilliant. She's she's a biology major. And I said she's way smarter than me, but she struggled with mental illness for a good part of her life. So whenever I see her overcome that, whenever I see her overcome her challenges, it just inspires me and pushes me to be better, to do better. Because again, it's something we don't talk about in our community enough, but it's a very prevalent issue. And until we address it and make it more, I guess, make it more approachable for people to talk about it and to be okay with it. It's not a stigma. It's something that a lot of people deal with. And until we make it so where they're comfortable being who they are, despite the illness, I think overall we'll be a better society and community.
Well, thank you for that. And lastly, how can somebody contact you?
Yes, so you can contact me with Butler Davis Tax and Accounting. You can find me on Twitter at WifeMomCPA100. That's also my Instagram handle. And I am on LinkedIn at l.nicole.davis.
All right. Nicole Davis, founder and CEO of Butler Davis. Thanks so much for being a guest on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast. Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.